What's good? What's good? What's good? My people, my people, my people, my people, my people. What up? What up? What up? What up? Once again, we on this little live. You know what I mean? This little live right now, man. We talk about this little interview, man. I'm talking about two interviews today, man. That really let me give myself a round of applause, though, man. For getting up, grace in the Lord and God is the glory. You know how we do. You know how we do over here, man. We gotta give glory to the God. You know what I mean? Lord, the Almighty, Almighty, for getting me up to date this deserve this beautiful live that I'm about to do real quick on these hypocrisy that's going on in the boxing industry, man. You know what I mean? It's enough of this stuff, man. These people be giving us a bunch of BS for too long, man. You know what I mean? We got to get right when these people start talking to them, man. Let them know, man, y'all gotta stop serving us this garbage. You understand what I mean? You gotta stop giving us this garbage, man. You get too much garbage from these people, man. And we gotta start getting facts. We need some facts around here, man. We need some facts around this place, man. But start it off, man. Say what's up to peoples, everybody. And before we start, I want everybody to know these people some big dummies, man. They don't know shit about boxing. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you that for sure. Now, you start this thing off, man. We always talking about boxing, keeping it 100, keeping it real on this channel. Over 40, I can give it up. Straight talk. No pull no punches, man. You know what I mean? We pull no punches, man. No punches at all. That's how we do, man. Give me 1 minute, y'all. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Be right back. Okay, my bad. We back. Let's get back to it. Hold on. My bad. I'm in here. But let's get with it, man. Let's get with this interview. Let's dissect this interview. Dissect how much of a slime ball that these people are. You know, we're going from this guy here. This guy. That's the guy, y'all. This is the one. You know, just get on his hands.
All right, we are here with Mauricio Suleiman, the president of the WBC. And Mauricio, I just told you off camera, so I'll tell you the same thing on camera. I want to thank you for being here. You have been in the news over the last week, and you know how I feel about some of the actions taken by sanctioning bodies in recent years. So I appreciate you being here to answer some of these questions.
Absolutely, Chris. Thank you for the opportunity for me, on behalf of the WBC, to provide our side of any topic that we will be discussing.
Okay, so let's jump right in with the most recent news. Shakur Stevenson is no longer the WBC's 135-pound champion. Why is Shakur Stevenson no longer the champion?
Thank you. Let me give you the full story. We received a call from his management in which they requested the WBC to have Shakur Stevenson fight on a different weight category while maintaining the lightweight championship, and being this a WBC event, which even they asked for a special belt for the fight. We explained clearly that that is within the WBC rules, and that I would be very happy to convey that to the board and make it happen, because Shakur has been associated with WBC since 2019. I told his management they needed to send a written request in order to start all the process. From that point on, we had another couple of conversations. They were supposed to send a written request, which didn't happen. However, I went to the convention early December. I expressed the position, the petition, the verbal petition, and it was voted in favor. However, we needed to have everything in writing, as every promoter does, and every situation has to be taken care for. Then came December, stopped absolute communications. On January, I started again the communication requesting the petition, the sanctioning petition. And then I even involved the promoter, Matchroom. And I copied also Sela, who is closely associated with the promotions. And no response whatsoever. There were some emails that they responded. Our legal team continued the communications, and they never responded whatsoever to any petition of putting it in writing and receiving the final authorization.
Okay, so let me just ask this. Let me interrupt quickly. Why does Shakur Stevenson need the WBC's permission to fight in a different weight class for a different sanctioning body's title?
Because he requested that permission. If you want to keep your title, there are specific rules, and these rules have been in place for decades. When you are a champion in the WBC or any other organization, you have benefits from being a champion. When you are to engage in a non-title bout or in a title bout on another weight category, up or down, you need to receive the permission from the organization to do so. And that's what we have been consistent. It has happened so many times with many fighters. There's precedent. In fact, Benavides is fighting in May as WBC light heavyweight champion, and he's fighting in cruiserweight for another organization. He made the petition in written, and it's the exact same case that is the way it's done by the WBC rules.
So you stripped Shakur not because he holds.
We did not strip Shakur.
Well, you vacated the title. It's kind of the same thing.
The management elected not to comply, and they eventually vacated the title because they did not comply. And we have so many written proof of everything. We published after the convention on December the 3rd the status of each weight category. I published personally on January 26th the status of each weight category, and it clearly says the WBC allowed this situation. However, we have not received any response from Shakur Stevenson, and the board is going to address this matter. And all this is published publicly, Chris. And I'll be very happy. I don't know if you received the WBC notifications. I'll be happy to add your email so you can receive it directly. But all this is public. We have never said no to an interview. We have never said no to any question. Everything is public. And it is very troubling and sensitive the way this situation has been handled.
Do you think
the rules?
Shakur Stevenson told me that you asked for $120,000 in order for you to sanction that fight. Is that accurate?
That is accurate. In writing, we sent a letter insisting on them we tried everything to avoid this situation. What we send is the WBC approves your petition to fight, and according to the WBC rules, a fee of $120,000, which is less than the 3% that should be, which they, by the way.
Listen, y'all. I wanted to break through this bullshit you talking about, because this is a bunch of hypocrisy, man. This is a bunch of bullshit. Like, and I want my people on my channel, if you follow me, man, because we straight talk here. This is bullshit what he's talking about. I mean, it just seems like whenever it comes to the Black American fighter, so it is funny how we start to hear the rules of things and how things run in the rules. They got to explain the rules again to us. When it comes to Black American fighters, they have to explain the rules again. And I don't know why they do this all the time. And I know why they do it. And I'm going to tell my people now. The reason why people do this type of things, when they do things in this kind of nature, like, oh, let me tell you the rules and such and such and such. That means that they changing the rules in a funny way. And so now when you question it, they get back to, oh, it's the rules. You got to follow the rules. You got to follow the rules. Well, okay, cool. Let's take that narrative. You got to follow the rules. So why do you break your own rules all the time? So how do we know when you're going to follow the rules and when you're not following them? When you can just make accusations about money and who should pay what when you want them to pay it, and because of whatever with the WBC and the sanctioning bodies inside boxing. So let's get on with this. Let me hear some more of this.
They can contest and say, no, we're not making this amount, we are making this, and we have done it many times. We have adjusted the sanction fees when the promoter or the manager or the fighter proves that it is less. Since we had zero communication from their side, we initiated that and we put $120,000 fee on they've been saying he made 7 or 10 million or whatever. We had zero response. The only response was, we receive it, we will address this later today.
Well, let me say this. Whatever the money was that he made, it's his money. He can do whatever he wants with it. Why do you believe, and look, this is in your rules. I'll give you that. I've read the rule that you're entitled to 50% if a fighter is fighting for a different sanctioning body, different weight class. I've read, it's in your rules. I'll agree with you there.
Or 3% if it's a special event.
Right. It also says market share too. Like the market value is what I'm keying on here. The market value. Like, why do you really believe that the WBC should be entitled to $120,000? That your market value for that particular fight, which was for a WBA title, a Ring Magazine title. Do you really believe that the WBC's belt?
WBO, Chris.
This is the part. This is the part. This is where the bullshit comes. This is where the bullshit comes. See, because you put a price on the belt, on an object that's like fighting for your belt. So generally, you saying that because you got a WBC belt, it's more like a face. So you got a company that got a bunch of faces on it. So whenever you have to come to have a fight, if you bring your WBC belt, it's like you bigging up they program, I guess, or they sanctioning body. And the WBC always is bougie, feeling like they is the governors of sanctioned bodies, and what they say go with this clown here, because this is what he do. This is just what he do. This is exactly what he do. He can put prices on all these belts to these people because it's all about the Benjamins. That's all this man do, little snake. You know what I mean? So when you're trying to explain yourself, it's just.
Do you really believe that the WBC's involvement,
bad,
however, nominal, is worth $120,000?
It's worth $1 million or $1. It is not about the money.
It's a big difference. What's about the money to him? It's about the money to Shakur.
Well, he chose not to continue as WBC champion, and it was his decision. It is not about the money. Because
listen, man, if somebody keep repeating, it's not about the money, it's not about the love, it's not about this, it's not about that, it's about this. That's when they hiding things. Because you can hide behind rules. You got rules, you can hide behind them, especially if you're the CEO or the boss. You can hide behind rules because you can bend them when you choose. It's just like what Chris Mannix is saying to him. Like, we understand what you're saying, but you're not understanding what we're saying. All that is fine and dandy, but the rules don't apply to Shakur Stevenson because he didn't fight for your belt. So it's not making sense. It's like you're just trying to dig money out of the Black American fighter, because I never see no creators, I don't see no people in boxing, I don't see none of the professionals, I don't see none of the commentators. I never hear this conversation based amongst a Black American fighter, because they don't do this type of shit to them. I mean, they only do this type of shit to the Black American fighter. They don't to any other fighters. Did we ever have these conversations about sanctioning fees to Canelo when he was winning all his belts, and any other fighter, Pacquiao, is winning all his belts? We don't go through this stuff. It's the Black American fighter. Then you start hearing rules. Yeah, it always come down to rules because you're always trying to fuck us around. So y'all got to come out with your rule book. You come on this interview and spill your whole WBC business plan, business, whatever y'all got going. You got to spill all that just to sanction some bullshit that you did.
It's the rule. Of course, a fighter who is recognized by the WBC as a world champion has a market value, has a validity, has a seal of having a position in the boxing world at that time.
Okay, so what he's saying is that the same thing Crawford was saying, same thing Shakur was saying, and a couple of people were saying, and Chris Mack. He's saying that we top dog. Nobody will be seen as nobody if they didn't have a WBC belt. So if you just had a IBF, or if you just had a WBO, you don't seem as like somebody. So it brings me down to like like the retail industry. You got Steve Madden, you got Nine West, and then you got Christian Louboutin, Gucci, and all these stores. And so he thinks that he is a Christian Louboutin to a Old Navy. That's how they look at the WBC. And so this is why all this so crazy ass sanctioning fees and things like that be coming, because y'all be tripping. Like, seriously, listen to this dude.
But you put a dollar figure on it. You said $120,000. You put an actual dollar figure on it. And so someone that watched that fight and fans of that fight, it's hard for me to wrap my head around $120,000 worth of value. Maybe there's some value, but $120,000 is a massive amount of money.
That is not a market value. That is a percentage based on a speculation of what he was making on the money. If he can...
Let's hold on, because I don't think people heard this. Listen to what he said on the speculation. You don't understand what these words mean.
That is not a market value. That is a percentage based on a speculation of what he was making on...
This is another man's money. Let's hear him talk about another man's money again. Let's hear this, y'all. This is another man's money, and he's a sanctioning body, y'all. Let's get this right. He's a sanctioning body. He just said there's fighters all over the world. You know how busy this man would be if he went with his same logic? There's fighters all over the world. Clip that right there. Just clip that. There's fighters all over the world. And he's focusing on Terrence Crawford and Shakur Stevenson. So nobody else got WBC belts and none of this stuff all over the world. You know what I mean? And he should be speculating. Everybody check all over the world who's having a fight, whether if they fighting for the belt or they're not. He just said that out his mouth. He just said it.
In the boxing world at that time.
But you put a dollar figure on it. You said $120,000. You put an actual dollar figure on it. And so someone that watched that fight and fans of that fight, it's hard for me to wrap my head around $120,000 worth of value. Maybe there's some value, but $120,000 is a massive amount of money.
That is not a market value. That is a percentage based on a speculation of what he was making on the money. If he had come back and said, my purse is X amount, we would modify it, as we have done in many cases.
So basically, whenever you fight, whenever we choose that we want, so we can go by if we knew what your look, y'all gotta listen to this. This is crazy talk here. So you telling me if you knew what my purse was, then it would be a percentage. But if you didn't know what the purse was, just because you got a WBO belt, WBC belt, and you ain't fight for it or not, or whatever the case is, we just gonna take some money just because you went up there. Whether if you brought the belt up there and showed it, because the way he's talking like the WBC has fans that want to see their fighters fighting. He's making it in a different. Listen to him talk. He's making it seem like the WBC basically is a sanctioning body, whatever they want to be. You know, this is how he's making it seem. The WBC got a crew of boxers that's signed to fight for the WBC. This is the way he's putting it, because he should have a market share on every fighter that got a WBC. It shouldn't only be Terrence Crawford and Shakur Stevenson. We should have been hearing about this on every fighter, because obviously what he's saying is that he don't know what they get paid. He don't know the purses. No matter how much we all talk about this one getting 10 million, this one getting 5 million, obviously he don't know. So he don't know about the purses. He don't know what people get paid. So you telling me Shakur could have told him, I got $100,000 for the fight, and he'd have been cool with that, and then he'd have said, okay, well, give me a 1.5% of the 100,000, and everything would have been fine, right? Bullshit, 100% bullshit. That's why he's up here for this whole interview, bullshitting, because he know he's wrong. You cannot have a percentage and then make a percentage based on what you get. Either it's a percentage based on whatever you get, like they say, yo, you got your manager get 10%, right? Your manager get 10% of your money. If you give him 10%, it doesn't matter what you get paid. If you get paid more money, then he get more on the percentage. If you get paid less money, then he get less money. It's really simple. It's not rocket scientist, but his percentage don't go up and down under speculation of what you got. So if you speculating what somebody has, then you shouldn't be that deep in it. Then you don't know that much in it. So if it was a percentage, you could just give them a percentage based on whatever the hell he made, he'll know it'll be inside the payment. I gotta send, but since it's a non-profit, this is one of these things where you can come ask me for some money and I can tell you no. This is not really part of boxing. It's not part of boxing. If you don't got a WBC belt, it's not to mean that you can't be a boxer. You just say, fuck them. We don't want to fight for their belt. You can still be a three division world champion or a 3-belt world champion. You might not never go undisputed because you're not fucking with them. And that's fine. 100%. So he's making it seem like this shit is part of boxing. It's not part of boxing. Y'all affiliate yourself with boxing. Y'all affiliate yourself with boxing. These sanctioning bodies not part of boxing. They affiliate themselves with boxing because they got things that could go to your game and provide trophies and belts and accolades to make, to make the sport better. But they not part of boxing. You can actually have boxing without these sanctioning bodies. The fuck box couldn't you? Seriously, you can develop a trophy and get a trophy. Then people fight for that. So this dude's crazy.
So he's kind of being penalized for making a lot of money.
No. He's being requested to comply with the rules, Chris.
I get the rules, but are these?
But that's the rules.
Well, but should look, you bend your rules all the time. We can get to that. You bend your rules a lot. You do.
Tell me where we bend the rules.
I don't know. You let Jermall Charlo have his belt for over 2 years. That feels like not ordering a mandatory. You didn't. You let Canelo Alvarez was a champion at 168 for a long time. You didn't force David Benavidez' fight. You didn't you bend your.
And those are 100% facts. You can't get around it. You can't try to say nothing. You cannot do that because those are facts. It already happened. You can't do nothing about it. Yes, you did. You let Jermall Charlo hold the belt. Yes, you did. For 2 years, you did do it. Yes, sir. Yes, you did. So anything you say behind this with Canelo and Charlo is bullshit. It's 100% bullshit because you did this. You, the WBC, y'all did this. Cut it out.
Rules a lot, Mauricio. If we're being honest here, you bend your rules a lot.
You are being judgmental. Why don't you open and listen to the rules and listen to my explanation?
Okay.
Why do you go and accuse and just get to a conclusion?
Whenever somebody give you an answer like this, man, as a CEO of a company, as a boss of a company, as any of that, it's not good. I'm telling you, man, this is what you know. This is when you know bullshit. This is when you know it. When you get an answer like this from a CEO and start telling you accusing him and this, I'm telling you, man, this is when you know it's bullshit. Yo, listen, from this part on, he been talking a bunch of, hypocrisy, but he's about to start right now.
That is not correct.
We can go case by case, but the fact that you never enforced a mandatory on Jermall Charlo for years. That's a fact.
Please let me
That's 100% fact.
I think I deserve the courtesy, if I'm in your program, to be able to talk. Jermall Charlo. Jermall was scheduled to fight, and he got injured. He was going to make his title defense. He got injured, so the fight was postponed. Then he became in a very difficult mental health problem. So he got completely he was completely disturbed in his person. The WBC ordered an interim championship with Adames in order to have the division active. I met with Jermall Charlo several times, and I promised him. He told me that the only thing in life keeping him from making a stupid decision like killing himself was because he was a WBC champion.
All right, now let me say something about this, right? And this is part of the interview that really, really, really bothered me. Clip this and clip that, but it really bothered me this one here, because mental health is nothing to play with. It's nothing to play with at all. It's a real thing. It's a real serious thing too. And it's nothing to make excuses for your actions and to put it on the mental health society. Because trust me, the mental health society has enough going on, and it's a real thing. So for you to sit here, and this is the show, this is why, you know, I got this picture up, because this only shows the real snake in you. Put your glasses on, your beady eyes, you know, because it's all about the business. This is a snake in you. When you speak on somebody else's mental health to save your ass,
and I met him, and he,
you know, inside of a conversation, when you converse with somebody else on national TV. Now, we all knew what Charlo was going to do. We all knew it. We all seen it. It's on TV. We got the internet. We don't need you to come up here and tell us nothing that's secretly that you know that nobody knows. The point of the matter is, we ain't talking about Charlo and his mental health. We can leave that alone. He got over that. I don't know why you bringing that up right now. If you was that serious, why would you say it right now after you know the man done got it over and he's trying to get back in the ring now? So you're gonna bring this up as a defense to your bullshit. You're gonna try to bring this man mental health, and I tell you, man, these people use black people for everything in the world, man. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Clip this, man, clip that, and that's real. That's real, man. This man is trying to get out of some shit that he did to one black American fighter. He's gonna bring another one up. He didn't say that shit about Canelo. You know, you're gonna tell him that the man was gonna kill him. How you know that we knew that he was at the point of killing himself? We just know that he was going through some shit mentally with him and his girl, his family, his brother. We knew that. We don't need you to come up here and say that. This is what I'm saying. You gotta really listen to these people, man. And that has nothing to do with you taking the belt from Shakur and charging Shakur $120,000 for a belt. What the hell Charlo 2 years ago in his mental condition got to do with this? Because he brought up the belts? Yes, he brought up those belts. He didn't bring up those belts for you to tell me about Charlo mental career. He brought up the belts to show the hypocrisy and the bullshit that you do because you bent the rules for them. That's what he's trying to tell you. You're trying to jump on a sympathy bandwagon. Nobody cares about that. We all know his problems. We went through that. So don't try to bring it up. Yo, this right here is bad, man. This is the fucking president of a company. Listen to what he's saying. This is the president of a company, man. A non-profit company. One of the first things that you'll get ordered for and go to jail, and the most corrupt companies in the world is non-profit. Because there's no tracking their money. That's why Crawford said you get this money and go in those hotels and chill out in these big, because you don't track this money with nonprofit. This man here, I'm telling you, is a snake. Seriously, all to aside, yo. This guy's no good. This man brought up Charlo mental. He gonna say that man was gonna kill himself. So you held the belt because he was gonna kill himself. That's what you trying to tell me? Is that what you saying? You saying in disclose you held the belt in your company for 2 years because the man told you he was gonna kill himself. That's why you held the belt, and you took Shakur belt for $120,000 and you vacated it and vacated Bud within a month. You really gonna try to explain that to me? So you held his for 2 years because he told you. I guess he was the only one he told. I guess yo was so buddy oh pal that he told you, yo, I'm gonna kill myself. And you said, yo, you know what? I'm gonna hold the belt. So you trying to tell us as people, as grown-ups, as some of us as casuals, some of us as real fans, whatever the hell, you trying to tell the whole world that you held the belt. A man put his salvation or his mental state that he would actually kill himself, and it was based on a belt. It wasn't based on why he was going to kill himself. You never said that. You said that the belt was the remedy. I'm not knocking that. Then maybe that is the case. So you telling me that y'all had this conversation and he said, yo, Mr. Snake, Mr. Mauricio, Mr. Snake, I'm gonna kill myself. You know, only thing that stopped me from doing that is you holding my belt. Is you holding the belt, keeping me a undisputed world champion, you know, whatever the case is. Until I get back right. That's the shit you gonna put on. That's what you put out there to the world. That's what you're gonna tell the world. Is you serious, man? That's crazy, man. That's crazy, man. Nuts.
Wife. And I promised him to have the full WBC support until he got his mental situation better. And if you're gonna blame that for me and say that I break the rules, I take it. I took the fighter's life and I took the fighter's sentiment and did not affect anyone in doing so. You wanna talk about Canelo Alvarez? Benavides, same thing. Canelo was a champion. Benavides accepted to fight an interim championship. And when he fought on March of 23, I think, that was the final elimination for the mandatory position that would take place 1 year later. Before that year later that we were to enforce the fight, he moved up to light heavyweight. I can give you all the timeline of each case that you would like to discuss if you give me the opportunity, and don't judge me without knowing the facts.
I'm not, well, you just said, and if I'm hearing you correctly, that you thought Jermall Charlo might commit suicide if he had his belt taken from. Okay, I mean, that's serious stuff. I know he was dealing with some stuff. That's certainly some serious stuff. So
it's very clear. It was public. He had huge.
No. Stop. Once again, stop. This shit to get on my nerve, man. I really don't like this, man. I really don't like this. My brother is a victim of suicide. This is why this mental health is. This is why this really, you know what I mean? This is bad what he's doing. This is real bad. And if it was the case, if he did tell it to you, if it was the case, why would you say it? You know what I mean? Why would you say it? This is when you know that you got these motherfuckers by the balls. This is when you know on these interviews, because Chris Matt, and to be honest with you, he's not the best neither, but this interview, what he did with him, this is good. But he really, he sounds like somebody, a regular person on the internet asking regular questions, like, come on, man, this is what you did. And you're trying to clear it up. For some more bullshit you did, you're trying to clear it up. Yeah, y'all know these sanctioning bodies is going down. So y'all trying to, snatch and grab now. Or ever since Zuffa got in the game and they talking all this over with the ring and all of this, since they start talking all this, y'all sanctioning bodies for some reason and start doing a bunch of bullshit. Y'all start shaking in y'all pants. Y'all start, y'all got on some bullshit, man. Y'all start grabbing belts, telling people, you can't have this belt. You're gonna give it to somebody else that's gonna take that little belt to get the little thing. It's like when you breaking up with your girl, you bought her a car and you'll take the car and give it to your new girl. You get what I'm saying? This is like the type of shit you're doing now. You're on some bullshit. That's that non-profit shit though. That's that non-profit shit. They can do this type of bullshit. They can do this shit all day long, man. This is that non-profit shit, man. You can't track the money. You can't do nothing. You can change your prices and all kind of shit, man. And then you can say it's all for the peoples. You do so much for the peoples and the boxes. That's bullshit. Y'all do a couple of things, but come on, man. Man, people is alive in this world. We know what's going on, man. You can't be doing that type of shit. Look at the type of shit you're doing to Shakur thing. You think you're doing good for boxers. How can you be doing good for boxers and you stripping motherfuckers that ain't even fighting for the belt? How is that doing good? That's not giving you no money for a good performance, and you thought that you should have been part of that. And so you're gonna come with this non-profit shit. They're gonna call a motherfucker and be like, yo, let me get this money here, man, because such. Nah, that's that bougie shit. So you acting like you're left out, and now you want to come in and fuck with somebody like, you know what I mean? Come on, man. Y'all gotta stop, man. Like this, y'all gotta stop.
Problems in his personal life.
I covered it.
We opted to support him. If you're gonna crucify us for that, so be it. I'll take it.
Well,
you see. Look, I'm trying to tell you. When it comes to Canelo, talking about on that side, see, you'll take that. Yeah, you'll take that, but you won't take it from Shakur. But you'll take it from Canelo, though. Yeah. Y'all do all that. You can say, yo, you can look at me the way you want to look at me when it comes to Canelo. If y'all want to look at me like that, then y'all can look at me like that. When it comes to Canelo, yeah, not Shakur and Crawford. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all, what they be doing with these Black American fighters. This shit be real, man. This man is saying, he is talking this shit. It's real. He just said, yo, when y'all, if you want to look at me like that for that, okay, so be it. I take that. But you can't look at me like that for Shakur. Nope. And Crawford. Nope. I fight that. I act like something wrong with them. And I'm right. You'll start talking about the rules. The rules. You ain't say nothing about the rules just now when it came to Canelo. You ain't say nothing about that. You gotta start listening to what come out of people's mouths. Stop listening to what they want you to believe. Don't listen to that. Don't listen to it with those kind of ears. Listen to what comes out of their mouth. He has said so much shit here. It don't make no sense about one thing, about one issue. Look at his face. He's dead serious. Chris is just trying to get some shit out of him. This is like a fucking, like he on a lie detector right now. That's what it seems like. I'm for real. Look how serious this man is crazy. I told y'all, this guy been on some bullshit, man. He's been on some bullshit, man. I'm telling y'all, man, no lie. Look, see all the different prices of the belts? That's this dude. Whenever they pop up, this dude is popping up for some reason. He's just around everywhere since Zuffa is in the game, and you know, they talking about these sanctioning bodies probably be out the game. You know, he's starting to pop up like he's trying to snatch and grab.
Benavidez had an interim title for a while. There were opportunities for you to order.
Paul Benavidez put him on the line.
They didn't get. You think he didn't want that shot?
He moved up in weight before we ordered the fight.
So you're saying you were about to order the fight? He moved up in weight because he didn't think he was ever going to get that fight.
That's what you think.
That's what he says. He says it over and over again. He said it publicly. He never thought he'd get the Canelo fight.
He never thought that Canelo would fight him, maybe.
Yeah, but should you have not ordered that? Like said, do it.
Because it was not time.
So am I crazy, yo? Did he say anything? It was the rules. It's rules. You gotta follow the rules. Chris is asking him about the rules, and he acting like he don't know nothing about that no more. Listen to his answers. Oh, you think he wanted to fight? Oh, he moved up. He gotta understand. Listen, he's trying to break up the question. He moved up. Chris ain't go for that. Then he said, "Oh no, he." Yo, this is crazy.
And I'll send you all the reports that I explained. When we were supposed to order in March 2024 or 2024, he moved up in weight, Chris.
Well, this raises the subject, Mauricio, and I was going to get to this. This raised the subject of the interim championship. Now, interim, I'd like to know, what is your criteria for creating an interim championship?
I can tell you that. Yeah, your criteria is a non-profit, y'all. Let's not forget that. Forget WBC. Let's forget that. We know the WBC. Okay, cool. Think more about a non-profit organization, and then think about the WBC, and then think about his actions, and you will see these answers. Look at these answers. They get deflated and deflated to the point where he's just like, you know how somebody duck every question. You like, come on, my G. Like, don't this interview sound like two people in the street, that one dude that know about boxing talking to somebody that don't know shit about boxing? Don't it seem like that? It seems like you're just in the club or in the barbershop, and you just talking to a casual fan, and you know about boxing, and you know, because he's acting like he don't know shit about what's going on. Chris asking him direct, simple ass questions like, so you telling me you couldn't order Benavidez to fight? You couldn't order Canelo to fight Benavidez? That's what you're telling me? Okay, cool. We ain't even talking about surgery. We ain't talking about. Let's talk about Benavidez. So we talking about recent shit. We ain't talking about surgery when you ran from 160. That's another story in another video. Anyway, back to this guy. This really seems like he don't know shit about boxing. He act like he don't know what Chris is talking about. He's the fucking owner of the company. He's the CEO. He the one that make the rules. He didn't say shit about rules just now. This man is the man that actually write the rules and put them out there for what you do. And you're gonna tell me, oh, that's why Chris saying, you really telling me that you gonna really sit here and say this shit? See, now you sound like a casual. You sound like somebody that don't know shit about boxing. Like, for real. I don't even know how Chris even continue this interview because I would have blew up by now. I'd have been like, yo, come on, man, I'm out of here because you're going crazy.
The criteria, original criteria, is when a fighter is not available to defend his championship for medical, legal, or other circumstances.
I don't mean to cut you off right now real quick. I just want to say something real fast though, you know. A little side note, he kind of changed his word from the rules, because rules are rules and they're not supposed to be broke only by him. Criteria can't be broke. So he's trying to change it up and say, you know, the criteria, so he's trying to make it be based on criteria now, not rules. This guy is yes, sir. That's what he is. No matter what nobody say. I'm telling you, it's coming all out of it. No matter what nobody say.
Chances that are proven, you order an interim championship.
Okay, let me just, I'll give you a second. I just wanted to follow up on that.
Yeah.
You currently, to my reading here, you currently have interim champions at heavyweight, junior middleweight, junior welterweight, and flyweight. These are all divisions with active champions that are out there fighting either in recent months or scheduled to fight in recent months. Why should this be described as anything as a way for the WBC to collect a fee for a fake title?
Okay, you ought to say and to go through the money again. And you have a very big problem with money because it is not about money. The WBC has taken a stance to try the best for the industry, for the promoters, and for the fighters. I'm not going to talk about the heavyweight division. We took a stance in order to make our best possible effort to land at a undisputed heavyweight championship fight. That goes back to Wilder. Sorry. We had the Usyk, who was the champion after beating Joshua, and we had Fury as the WBC champion. We took one complete year without Fury defending his title, waiting as we proposed that we wanted the undisputed. So he fought and we sanctioned the undisputed fight, including a rematch. That was the WBC ruling. So Usyk defeated Fury and they had the rematch. The next fight wanted by the public, by the whole world, was again to take the undisputed because he had lost the IBF title. So the WBC created and ordered the interim title for Ajit Kabajel, who had been winning consistently. If you recall the past 2 years, there was many heavyweight fights. All the fighters moved on in their losing and winning. Caballel was the one active, so the WBC approved an interim title for the heavyweight division to continue active in the WBC while supporting completely the undisputed champion. If we were about money,
you was about money. That's why the interim belt is there, because you're all about money. That's why the interim belt is there, because you're about money. That's an easy way to get more money out of a boxer. Easy. An interim to channel. Any belt you put up there is an easy belt to thing for a boxer, because like you said earlier, it's about publicity. It's about, you know, you're the big dog. So if you come up with anything, you come up with a belt coming from the WBC, it could be call it a mediocre belt, meaning that for the duckers, for the ones that you'll protect in there, you know, we gonna get them a belt. We gonna get a belt to the people that's supposed to get a belt, that we hold and manufacture these belts and hold it for other people. And we're gonna put a little $80,000 on this, a little light money, you know, to get this belt. And we're gonna make it seem like it's a prestige belt because it's coming from the WBC. Full of shit. 100%. 100%. It's 100%. This is a bunch of nothing right now. This is a whole interview of nothing. I mean, Chris is doing him, you know, showing the world that this guy ain't got no answers for nothing. He didn't say nothing validated yet. That's honestly, that answers the straight question. He said some things that's true because he have to bring some of that truth into his company to make the bullshit sound like it's something. That's why he changed the word from, rules to criteria and a lot of the shit. If you listen, he actually tell the story himself. Just listen to him.
As you always mention on fees, look how long Fury took to defend. Look how long Usyk now, since his last fight, we're giving him a voluntary defense. He can select the best fight for him and the industry, and then he will fight the interim champion Caballero. So I can give you an explanation of every.
I bet you could, because the man asked you. Let's get back to the question he asked you. The question that he asked you was, why didn't you? You feel me? He said, why didn't you order the fight? Why didn't you do it? You tell us everything about the fighters. He asked you a real simple question. And he said, why didn't you order these fights? Because based on the rules, these fights should have been had. And based on the criteria of the fighters, these fights should have been had. I mean, you're saying words, you're trying to use them in different contexts, but when you talk to educated individuals and they're aware of the bullshit, you can't really do that kind of. You can't really talk like that. You gotta make sense when you're saying something, and you're not making no sense. You got that 2025 plague. You get a camera and a mic in front of you, and you start talking stupid. That's what you got going on right now, because you really in a hole. You're trying to get yourself out the hole, and you can't do it because this shit is already done. The Charlo and Canelo and Bam and it's already done. You already done all the bullshit. Ryan Garcia, I don't even know why you even. That's a whole nother story. But you get what I'm saying. So you can cut it out and just. Funny that all of them is not Black American. It's weird, but it's real.
Every single interim
Hold on. All right, then, okay. Adji Caballero just fought in January. Alexander Usyk right now does not have a fight scheduled. Why is Caballero not being ordered to fight Usyk right now?
The ruling at the convention, Usyk requested a voluntary title defense, which was granted.
So basically, you bent the rules again. The man asked you why you didn't order this fight. Once again, you coming back telling us what the fighter is talking about. You ain't do that with Shakur and Bud, because Bud asked you. He told you, I'm gonna give you this. You said no, I'm gonna strip you. Shakur said, I'm not giving you that much. You didn't say, okay, give me this. You stripped him. So all of a sudden, when it comes to everybody else, you ask them questions, and this is what they're telling you now, and this is what you got going on, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I'm just making an ass out of myself, just assuming, which I shouldn't be doing, but you said it out your mouth, so I can go with the assumption, because it's more of a statement at this point, because you actually saying this, so I don't have to assume shit. You saying some shit that already happened. That's like me. That's like it's raining. It rained yesterday, and we had to stop the outside podcast. Yeah, the outside podcast, because they said it was gonna be hot. It started raining, and then today, and you were saying some crazy shit, and it started raining. And so today, since we had to stop that podcast, and you were saying some wild shit, you want to do it all over. Like, you didn't say that already. You already said that. What are you talking about? We can't not act like that wasn't said, because you already said it. And the world already know it. So you already did this. Canelo and them already had a ball in WBC. It was already manufactured champ. You already ducked Benavidez. You did not order the fight. That's all this man is asking. Here you go again explaining some other shit when they ask you again, why you didn't order that fight? Fuck me, the Usyk fight. Why you didn't order that? Listen to your guy. This is your guy, the good brother.
And Caballero had the title defense. He can do another fight if he likes, or just wait until Usyk fights and then we order the mandatory fight.
But that would be almost 2 years after Caballero originally won this title. Usyk is probably not going to fight until the summer of this year. So then Caballero's going to have to wait 2 years to fight for his heavyweight title?
He's very happy fighting for the interim and making a lot of money.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. I don't think he's very...
See, you see the interim? I've been telling people about this goddamn interim. I'm like, yo, these motherfuckers have made the joint up. And this is like he said, this is that. All right, let's put it this way. What is an interim belt in the boxing world? Let's compare it to the real world. Let me say a good comparison with an interim. An interim belt is like a bridge to get you from one place to the other place. Typically, if you're going to another state, when you get out of your state, you probably going over a bridge of some sort. You know what I mean? Or something like that. Or anywhere, you know, you go to your destination. Sometimes, you know, the destination is really over the bridge. That's the last sensation, over the bridge. You know, people say that, like it's over the bridge. You know what I'm saying? So that's an interim belt. In order to get to your destination where you want to go, there's an interim belt. You know what I mean? That you can get this belt, and it's like constructing a bridge, and you can start walking on the bridge to get to your destination, to get the heavyweight. I mean, the champ belt, the real belt, or the WBC. You get what I'm saying? So it's an interim belt. It's like, okay, I'll come grab you and tell you to fight for an interim belt to boost your head up. You know, it's no different than you meeting a girl in a club, and you know, you might be working, got a couple dollars in your pocket, and you want to act like you got more money than you got. It's no different than that. You know, that's like an interim belt. It's a false sense of reality to make it seem like you going somewhere, or I got you on the eye. But it's one of those belts where you can just, like he said, why you didn't order nobody? Because you order people for the interim belt, because there's no status for that shit. You got to order that belt. Yo, I'm gonna let you fight for this interim belt. There's no, it's like a giveaway. It's like a donation. You know what? I'm gonna give up this car. I'm gonna put it out here and say, yo, I want two of you to race, and I'm gonna give you this car. And people be like, oh, bet. You know what I'm saying? Because you're giving them a kind of a title, entitlement. You know what I mean? That's that interim, but that shit is bullshit.
Happy fighting for the interim. But is anybody look logically? Is anybody happy fighting for interim titles?
All of them. Otherwise, they would not fight for the interim.
Because
title.
they think it's a step to the next one. They think they're getting ordered to fight for a full title.
Why does it have to be on your times?
I'm giving you a whole lot.
You see, listen. You see how dumb he get? You see when he get caught in the corner? Do you see how stupid he get? They ain't saying about no rules. He can't answer these questions because this shit is made up. He can't answer these questions. This shit is made up. Watch. I'm trying to listen to this.
A lot of time, like a year, 2 years.
No, he fought, he defended, he just defended and became a hero in a
great event. Great event. Loved it. Huge event.
He had not been in he had his home welcome in Germany. Now he can fight in a stadium. It's good for him, good for German boxer, good for the division. So you're getting.
But he's fighting. If you ask Caballel, and I think they asked him after the fight who he wanted next, he wants to fight Usyk next. Usyk already had another fight. He had the Danny Dubois fight in 2025. He had one fight that year that was not a WBC ordered fight. Why does he get another one? Why does he get another voluntary when he has no opponents?
He just fought Fury Dubois.
That was 2 years ago.
Fury Dubois. If you were consistent with our side of making money and sanction fees, we would be ordering all these fights all the time. We are with the promoters, with the industry, with the networks, with the fighters. We work with them on times. I mean, you can see there are fighters that fight once or twice a year, and that's it.
Yes, but shouldn't
your job 4 times a year?
Shouldn't your job be just to objectively keep the title in play? Like, if a guy like Usyk wants to take a year off, shouldn't he be named your champion in recess?
Just to tell the things, investigate the facts, and then you trash me horribly without asking me anything about what we're talking. I don't tell you how to do your job.
You don't have to really ask people things when you're actually doing them. Now, if you wasn't doing no bullshit, then I can understand what you're saying right now is 100% valid if you wasn't doing no bullshit. But since you are doing some bullshit, what you're saying is bullshit. Like you talking off the ass right now. Like you're not even physically asking questions. You playing a victim right now. You playing a victim like somebody's coming at you. You're the CEO, president of the company, sir. If anybody had complaints, that's what it comes to, sir. It all comes to you eventually some kind of way. That's just how it goes, sir. You know what I mean? Non-profit, profit, you is guy. So now you sitting there acting like you don't know shit about boxing. Honestly, you gotta listen to you. This is funny, yeah, boy.
My job is to be the president of the WBC, which involves many, many, many things that you cannot imagine, which involves our social responsibility actions. The WBC cares, the Jose Sulaiman Fund, and you can roll your eyes like saying,
I'm not rolling my eyes. This is not the subject, Mauricio. I understand you do a lot of good things for fighters.
You come back with any subject that you want to be. I can say what.
Look at that body language. Look at the body language and moving in the seat and all that. Yo, he is uncomfortable. He got him because whenever you start talking about your whole, have anybody ever heard this about the WBC? How much stuff they do, all the affiliates they with, and such and such and such, and pleading on how much good they do. When people plead like that, they do just good, not like they talk about how much they do. No, they just do a couple of things good, and they on a good foot with, you know, some people. But I don't think that WBC is involved with anything that they say they're involved with heavily, except sanctioning fees. They on that shit. Because they'll snatch your belt and give it to somebody else because you ain't paid the sanctioning fee. So he feel he lost his money from this fight. Fighters don't fight every week. So he like, oh shit, I've been waiting this long for you to fight. You ain't paid me. Give me that belt. I'm gonna give it to somebody else next week. That fight. Why? I bet that belt be up for grabs in the next fight. That belt will be right up for grabs. They gonna get some money for it. And he gonna catch a sucker. And the sucker gonna pay like 180 probably. Watch. He gonna try to make a big fight for the belt. And try to get like 182. He try to get that. He's gonna try to recoup that money back from Chicago because he missed out. He doing what females do. This is what a female do. I mean, he doing some real he act like a real female right now.
Whatever I want to say as well.
I know you can. What I'm pointing out. Look, Caballel. I don't understand why he's not being ordered right now to fight for that title. But let me ask you this:
okay. Because the champion Usyk, December 3rd. Caballel was not available because he had a fight scheduled in January, and he requested a voluntary title defense, which is very customary. He was given that opportunity, and he must fight the interim champion next. That's the ruling.
Usyk must fight the interim champion next, after his next fight.
After his voluntary defense, yes.
Okay, let me ask you about the ranking system. Do you believe that boxing rankings should be a meritocracy? Should they be awarded via merit?
Absolutely, yes. May I describe how we do the rankings in the WBC?
Please.
We have a rankings committee composed of 36 people from around the world. They have regional. They are.
This is a clear tactic to copping out, and then guilty with an explanation. This is what he's doing right now. Clip that. Guilty with an explanation. This is what he's doing right now. He's shifting the weight, because first he came in here like he was the man and I'm the president. He got beat up and battered about that at this point. And so now he's doing is he's trying to leveling things out. He's trying to level this thing out. Like, you know what? Okay, look, here's the deal. He done told us a lot about the business, WBC, that we didn't know. Thank you, sir. We didn't know none of this. Now he's all into the ranking system and the 36 people that make the vote. So it's not him. You know what I mean? One people, it's not just me. You know what I mean? We got a thing going on, and we come to it together as a unit. You know, this is what we go with. This is what the best is. This is what we go with. It ain't like the personal thing. It's not like that. Because we non-profit. We just doing it for the boxers, and we got to keep everything in place. Bullshit. 100% bullshit. I'm talking about bullshit. Like, comment, subscribe, man. I'm out of here, man. For real, man. If you watch the second half, another time, man. 1. Host of 40, man. Straight talk.
You're not like me. How'd you see that? First time I met you, I said to myself, this young man can do anything he wants. That's the biggest curse a man can have. A curse. I have no choice. I do what I am. But you do anything. You could be